Okay, so my name is Tammy Curtis Guy. I'm a full-time artist in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. I love this area. I love the town. I love the people. I'm very grateful. I was a full-time Louisiana girl up until that point. Still love Louisiana. So my heart's just in the South. But I'm not coming to you as an artist today. I'm coming to you as a citizen of Mississippi and an advocate to people that don't even know yet they need an advocate. I'm about to show you something. So, 2021, I discovered a grant that was available, a FEMA grant called the Swift Current Initiative grant. And at the time, it was a pilot program, and it was open to people of Louisiana, Mississippi, and New Jersey to raise their homes from harm's way of flooding. The way I found out about this will be for another video, which I will explain, but it was only because I kept beating every bush to try to find some help to raise our little home in Bay St. Louis that we love. Well, I came across this grant and seemed like a godsend. It was a lot of work to get it. And I had to jump through every hoop, and I had to jump through every goalpost being moved. But FEMA was working with MEMA of Mississippi, because the way they had it structured, FEMA wasn't going to deliver the funds straight to the homeowner. It had to go through a sub-grantee entity in the state that was an official entity. So Louisiana's had no problems with this, and apparently New Jersey didn't, and now Florida's been identified. But Mississippi, it just choked it off at its life source. I kept fighting and fighting. So finally, through the help of Cindy Hyde-Smith's office, I received, finally, an award letter from FEMA for $142,000 to raise our house. And I might want to say, I didn't receive it necessarily, but the city of Bay St. Louis did. So here's, and look, forgive me as I go forward, because I will be doing these podcasts regularly now, updating. I will get more savvy and be able to pop in the images. But for right now, this is the award letter for our address. And just so you know, I jumped through every hoop. I got through every signature I needed to get. We got full-blown engineering plans stamped and sealed by the state of Mississippi. Had to pay up to $5,000 to get everything done they wanted us to get done, but it got done. So now FEMA has awarded us the monies basically through awarding to MEMA, through awarding to Bay St. Louis. So that's where all this is. So right now there's been a problem, and then it took me another, excuse me while I get my paper. It took me another year of fighting, because they said, well, it goes against a section in our Constitution of Mississippi. We might have to get an AG opinion. Well, I reached out once again through mass mailings to every official, because it had to come from a city or a government official, somebody in standing, because a private citizen can't appeal for an AG opinion. Everybody refused to get an opinion from me. Everybody I approached, even the word was put out, don't touch it, it's toxic. So nobody was willing to go forward and get an AG opinion from me. And I have documentation to show that. But I was blessed, and Representative Tim Ladner stepped up to the plate like a bulldog. So remember that name, people in Mississippi, Tim Ladner. If you want anybody to go against the fray of government and fight for you, his actual constituent, and actually be a servant of the people, it is Tim Ladner. So anyway, he went to bat. He walked the request in to the AG's office, got the AG opinion, and there is some discrepancy about it going against our Constitution. So now we have evidence. Okay, so now we have to get it reworded. Well, now let's fast forward and keep going months and months down the road with our money hanging in the boundaries that nothing can be done. Everybody's hands are tied. We've reached out to state level, community level, federal level, everybody, oh, we're talking to this lawyer, oh, we're talking to that lawyer. In the meantime, the third round of this grant money, and Mississippi was allotted $5 million each year, whereas Louisiana got $40 million. I believe New Jersey got that or more. They've been able to utilize all their money. So has anybody out there in Mississippi even heard of the Swift Grant Initiative grant for, program to raise your house? No, because they didn't want to bother with it. It was too much trouble. And me, I just keep at it. I'm like the woman who kept bugging the king in scripture until he finally listened to her. Okay, I'll own that. But right now, I just want y'all to see this. It says, FEMA announces $300 million available in the second round of the Swift Current funding. So the second round, folks, the deadline was this past April 7th. So now Mississippi has lost out on the first round that I battled and got a portion designated for our home for, but it's still not been released. It's being held in an account with MEMA, which Clayton French is the director of. So that has been withheld and no other monies went out. Last year, there was another $5 million allotted that nobody got to touch. And this year, April 7th was the deadline for you as a homeowner to apply for this grant and get it. And so now they've just announced another round, and the deadline will be approaching next year of January, just so you know. So the problem is now nobody in Mississippi can figure out how to initiate these funds and actually get them to the people of Mississippi that are desperate to have their house raised, that are desperate to receive these grant monies that are sitting there. They are sitting there. Mine's actually sitting in an account with MEMA, and nobody seems to know what to do. So I just wanted you to see this. See that? More money. So we have tens of millions of dollars for Mississippi that has gone untapped and unrealized. And to this date, I'm still reaching out, and everybody's saying, oh, we're talking to this person. Oh, we're talking to that person. Well, you can imagine by now, and so you know, I had to put together 2 binders that totaled up over 350 pages to submit that to FEMA, to Sabrina Sims in our district, our Area 4 in Atlanta, and she finally reviewed it and issued our award letter to MEMA. And then MEMA, a year ago, this April of 2023, gave us our award letter for our identifying our house for that money. And now nobody in Mississippi can figure out how to release that money to us. Nobody. I've talked to the governor's office. I've reached out to every state level representative and federal representative. Nobody, somehow it's just impossible to make this happen. So I'm just letting you know it's time for you to reach out to your representatives. If you ever wanted your house raised, there is money being poured out every year now through FEMA, the Swift Current Initiative Grant. If you want to know more about my story, you can contact me. I will tell you. My email is Tammy, T-A-M-I, Curtis, C-U-R-T-I-S, Guy, G-U-Y, @gmail.com. Tammy, T-A-M-I, Curtis, C-U-R-T-I-S, Guy, G-U-Y, @gmail.com. My number is 985-789-2214. And if you want to reach out to a person that has done everything in our state level to help us, that is Representative Tim Ladner, L-A-D-N-E-R. He is a champion of a man, and he fights the true fight. Also, I will say, Cindy Hyde-Smith's office, they were the ones as to act as my liaison to get FEMA to let go of these grant funds initially. So they have been working hard for this. So I'm just letting you know, people of Mississippi, there's money, and it's not hard to get anymore. It's rolling in. Swift Current Initiative Grant. I will also show you the list of people that I let them know I'm starting this podcast. these folks right here. Clayton French is one of the heads of MEMA. So can you see that? And like I said, I will make better videos going forward. But for right now, this is all I have, but I'm sharing it with you. If you need your house raised and you didn't think there was any way, that's not true. It's just not true for Mississippi because they can't get their act together. They can't work in tandem and get this done. Because when somebody says, oh, well, I've reached out to so-and-so, you can guarantee that's going to add at least 2 weeks, if you're lucky, to get any word back. So you know what? I'm spreading the word. I've also reached out to 11 investigative reporters in case they want to pick this story up. So I'm not against anyone. What I'm trying to do is get everybody to work together for the sake of Mississippi. How often does Mississippi get extra money from federal that is just needed? And this is needed and it's available, but we need Mutt and Jeff to get together with federal and state and figure this out. Okay, thank you. Bye.